to Voice of the People 90.3 FM, the number one station that gives you a voice all over the world. I bid you welcome. I'm happy to have you here today. My name is Chema Innocent. I'm your host. And for the next 1 hour and a half, we'll be talking about pertinent issues in the Nigerian political, social, economic, security space. We'll be talking about how Nigeria is helping our people and what people can do to also help Nigeria, because it's not just about what your country can do for you. You also have to think about what you can do for your country. It's very important. As Nigerians, we have a duty to our country. We have a duty to be patriotic. We have a duty to be good to our fellow Nigerians. We have a duty to do everything that we can to promote Nigeria's democracy. We have a duty to ensure that we are not the ones spoiling the country and complaining about it. So I hope that every day you are doing your bit, doing your best as a Nigerian to ensure that the country is the best for all its citizens. Welcome to today's episode of Matters. My name is Chema Innocent, and we'll be discussing quite a number of issues today. These issues are very important, right? And you need to participate. At some point in the conversation, the phone lines will be open and you can participate. We'll be streaming live on YouTube. It's VOP 903 FM on YouTube. VOP 903 FM on YouTube. We'll let you know the WhatsApp number and the direct number to call when it's time for you to contribute. But in the meantime, sit back, relax, take a chill pill, listen, drink cold water. That's if you have light. Because a lot of people don't have lights. Like me now in my area, they give us a glimpse of light. Make we know, say, transformer Nova spoil. They just give us a glimpse of light. After like a few minutes, they'll just take it back. So that's for you to know that, oh, everything is okay. Oh, we just don't want to give you light. And then the heat is crazy. So anywhere you can find cold water now, drink cold, use the cold water, point on your head so you can feel cool. You understand? Because I understand that the situation of the country, a lot of people are not happy about it. So if you now add the darkness and the heat, a lot of people will just be going gaga. So to prevent yourself from going gaga, pour cold water on your head today. That is my own advice. It's not medical advice, so but you can say I told you. Just pour cold water on your head so you can feel better. Anyway, I'm not alone in the studio today. I have joining me right here in the studio, sitting right across from me, Mr. Dele Fanimo, veteran reporter, political, social, national affairs analyst. He'll be giving us his own perspectives on the issues today. Now, I came across this particular report and I was wondering what's really going on. So let me tell you the issues which we'll be talking about this afternoon. First of all, details have actually emerged over the defense minister, Christopher Musa, actually held a meeting with the service chiefs in Abuja. And the details of that meeting has emerged. We'll be talking about it and talking about how this meeting can actually help curb insecurity in Nigeria. Then we'll look at the EFCC grilling the Federal High Court judge, Justice John So, over his wife's $160,000 in cash was found in the possession of his wife. And the EFCC is asking questions. How did you come about $160,000 in cash, raw cash? Not like it's in your account. I mean, if it's in your account, it can be traced. It can be wherever it's coming from. The origin of the money can be traced. But why do you have $160,000 in cash just sitting around, maybe waiting to be spent or shipped or whatever? Where's this money coming from? The EFCC has been grilling the Federal High Court judge. But still, on this conversation, we'll be starting with the first one, which is the federal government evacuating Nigerians from Iran. Nigerians, waiting will they find go Iran? Waiting they happen for there? Is the standard of living in Iran better than in Nigeria? Are we having this mentality of anywhere but Nigeria? Like anywhere but Nigeria? Like, some people, it's almost as if they don't even try to do research on where they are going to, as long as they leave the shores of the country, as long as they enter planes. Some people will even pass through the Sahara Desert, only to find yourself in Iran. What is the reason? Anyway, the federal government has begun evacuating Nigerian nationals who wish to leave Iran. Amid growing tensions in the Middle East, the evacuees are being escorted through the Armenian border as part of efforts to ensure their safety. The development was disclosed by the chairman and chief executive officer of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIGHTCOM, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, in a post she shared on her X account, X formerly called Twitter. Now, she stated that officials of the Nigerian embassy in Tehran are coordinating the evacuation exercise and providing assistance to Nigerians willing to depart the country. According to her, those leaving Iran are being accompanied to the Armenian border, where arrangements have been put in place to guarantee their safe passage out of the country. This actually followed security concerns in the region after coordinated military strikes being carried out against Iran by the United States and Israel. Of course, Iran is also retaliated by striking whatever installments, military or otherwise, that belong to the United States and Israel, but in their neighboring countries. The Iran president came out on Saturday to actually apologize to their neighbors, saying, I mean, we know we should not be doing this and we're sorry we're doing this, but that is what we can do to try to retaliate while they are striking us. Anyway, Mr. Delefanimo will be wading into the issue right now. Mr. Dele, why do we have Nigerians in Iran? I mean, of all the countries in the world, why would Nigerians
are not limited
to
a particular country in the world?
We understand, but there are countries that are considered
better
than others.
No, until now, you see, some people out of religious conviction may want to go to Iran.
Okay.
Because some people want to submit to those laws because they believe that, okay, if I am there, what I cannot achieve in this country, as long as pious nature of that religion is concerned, I should be able to attain there.
So it may not be so for economic reasons.
It may not be for economic reason at all. And some of them may also give themselves to the fact that, have you not seen that, look at Mutalab, that former First Bank chairman's son. He went to the Middle East, went to Pakistan, went to another country, I can't remember the name now, and that Yemen, you know, and he was radicalized. He submitted himself. So somebody who was whose father was former chairman of First Bank cannot be rated as poor. And he was well read. He graduated in a British school, and yet he went to all those places to be radicalized, and you know the rest they say is history. So it's not for pecuniary gains that all the time you see people migrating to another country. And so what happened in this case may necessarily not be for economic reasons, but for some other religious obligations, quote and unquote.
But when you now have Nigerians, for economic reasons, going to some countries that have, you know, what we can call terrible weather conditions, extreme weather conditions, extreme cold. You see people saying they are going to. Sometimes you even hear the name of the country and you're like, what kind of country is this one? Like, there's a country like this that exists. There is a running joke that there is nowhere you will go in the world that you won't find Nigerians.
As a matter of fact, you have even answered this question because of your putting it to me, and in the course of laying premise for the answer to this question. You see, the average Nigerian believes that any other country but Nigeria, one, is looking at the currency, the strength of the currency of where that person is going, is looking at social amenities. For instance, do you know that a doctor who has the indoctrination of their brand of Sunni Muslim, and he knows that he will be well paid in Iran, and he feels is the quicker way of making money and making ends meet, will not think twice before leaving for Iran. I'm sure that Iran is not just bad as being portrayed. There must be some good in them, I mean the country, for Nigerians to migrate to that country. And some could also go as a result of desperation. And some may be cajoled into going. Do you know that some people leave this country without even know their destination? Do you know that? They might tell you, no, we are taking you to Germany. Just find yourself in Iraq or Iran. And the moment you get there, the first thing they do is to confiscate your passport so that you won't be able to escape. So in this case, it could be the same thing that is happening over there. Why are Nigerians going to Ukraine?
Russia,
a war-torn country, and even
war.
Russia in the midst of that war? You know, so some people are so desperate they will say, okay, I'd rather die in this country than come back to Nigeria. Why are people still going, despite all the videos shown to us in this country about how Africans perish in the Mediterranean Sea, yet every day you see load of shipments of African migrants trying to cross the desert to Europe? So it happens as a result of various reasons that may not necessarily be economic.
All right, then. Before we actually move on to other issues, there's this particular report that caught my eye. And, you know, I asked that question before we got on air. Now, this particular report is about the Lagos State House of Assembly recommending the relocation of Makoko residents to Ekpe. The State Assembly recommended that residents affected by the demolition of waterfront communities in Makoko, Okoagbon, and Shogunro be relocated to the Agbowa, uprooted from the lives that they have built. When they get there, they will have to, if they are relocated to Ekpe, or if they agree to relocate to Ekpe, they would have to fashion out a new life for themselves, a new business. It's not as if the Lagos State government saying to them, oh, we'll build businesses for you. And when they're being relocated to Ekpe, does this mean that they will build houses for them there, or they will just go there, give them land and tell them stay here, and they will still have to live in maybe wooden houses, stilts and all of that? Is this a good idea?
You see, let me tell you from day one, there is nobody indigenous to Makoko. Everybody in that place is a settler. There's a difference between being an indigene and being a settler. There is no historical fact that can support the fact that you are a Munile, a landowner in Makoko. That's one. Two, government is magnanimous enough to offer them reprieve by relocating them to Agbowa. Agbowa, a lot of people come from Agbowa. It's not a far-flung place.
Which also brings you to how will the people, the residents of that place accept this new entrant?
No.
Will they not now start having problems in the long run?
No.
Will they not be treated as second-class citizens?
You see, let me tell you, Agbowa is indigenous to some people. And these people are going to eventually become settlers in that community. But the point is, either we like it or not, displacement happens everywhere. Maybe for developmental purposes, maybe for mitigating risk, maybe for evacuation to mitigate natural disaster and all that. But I would only implore Lagos State government to make that place conducive for them by building low-cost houses to the extent that at least they will have roof over their heads. For those who had, because a lot of people might begin to claim that we displaced us, that they may not be one of those people displaced. So let them find a way for them to resettle in that place. Our empires resettle now. The current Oyo town was not the original Oyo empire. But after wars, they had to move down south to the current Oyo town. And a lot of people do this too. The Ugbos in Ilaje, they were original inhabitants of Ile-Ife. But when they were driven out of Ile-Ife, they found solace on top of water. And they saw island too. And today, that's why you have the Ugbos, the Ilajes, you know. So, but the point I'm making here is that government should be magnanimous enough, not just taking them to that place for them to find their feet, give them minimal comfort that will not make them lose totally, so that at least they can have roof over their head, and then provide amenities that will make them stick to that place, like a primary school, a secondary school. Maybe the primary school should be maybe 2 or 3.
This is just assuming that they don't already have all of this in that area.
In case they don't have, I'm sure they are not going to settle them within the heart of the town. It has to be outskirts.
So they might even be set. That's close to Ogun State.
Well, I don't know the topography of that place. But the point is, you see, when the war in Myanmar displaced some people, they built makeshift one-room apartment for those people that came to Bangladesh as refugees, and they make do with it, and not doing anything for them at all will be a disservice to humanity. And so if you have people whose milk of kindness flow through their veins and they are giving them this opportunity, I think we should encourage them to even do more.
And you'd encourage the people involved to actually welcome the opportunity with open arms.
They should accept it with open hand, because there is no better alternative to that.
All right, then 6 minutes before 2 p.m. If you're just joining us, you're tuned into Matters and Voice of the People 90.3 FM. You've been hearing the voice of Mr. Dele Fanimo. I'm your host. My name is Chioma Innocent. We still have quite a number of issues to discuss this afternoon, so stay with us. At some point in the conversation, you'll be able to call in and give us your own perspective and opinions on what we are discussing this afternoon. In the meantime, let's talk about something else. Recently, we were told by the Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, that terrorists and bandits operating across Nigeria suffered heavier losses than government troops, saying that the armed forces are intensifying operations across various theaters of operation. Now, he was talking after a brief strategy meeting with service chiefs in Abuja. He said he told Nigerians, assured Nigerians, that the military remains fully committed to restoring peace and security nationwide. The meeting was actually convened to review ongoing military strategies across different operational areas in the country. Recently, we saw videos of young boys, some of whom may be, there is no direct report yet, there is no accurate or verified report yet, or if these were victims of abductions that are now being left in the forest to be indoctrinated by these evil people, right? So security experts are saying these may be young boys who were kidnapped, taken into the bush. Now they are being turned into a militia that will be used against the Nigerian people. That is, some of these young boys may not even be used against people from their own ancestral lands. Now, at this meeting today, General Christopher Musa is trying to assure Nigerians that the military is working. Not only is he trying to assure Nigerians that the military is working, but he's saying whatever you're seeing now, in fact, it's double on the back end. Like, it's really double on the back end. Whenever you hear of losses, whenever you hear that a Nigerian soldier was killed, know that the terrorists suffered heavier losses. But we don't even want to be losing our soldiers in the first place, Mr. Fanimo. We understand that there will always be damage. I do not like to call it collateral damage. These are lives of people who wanted to live, people who want to stay alive, people who want to do their jobs as soldiers, people who want to defend their country. They do not have to die. We also complain about the kind of weapons that they use, old weapons that literally it's like ordinary scrap metal, when they face these terrorists who come with sophisticated weapons. And so when the Minister of Defense is telling us that, oh, we are working, how come Nigerians are not seeing it? I'm very particular, and a lot of Nigerians are very concerned about the indoctrination of young children. The other day we saw videos of people chanting death to Israel, death to Iran, death to America, we stand with Iran. We saw them raising Iranian flags, stepping on the US and Israel flags. All of this, we've seen clerics come out to spew things against the Nigerian government, against Nigeria's democracy, talk about how they will enshrine a particular religion and how Nigeria will know no peace until that is embraced.
You see, it's quite unfortunate, and I'm not comfortable with it. I saw that video. You see youngsters between 12 and maybe 15. The oldest among them cannot be, except if they have stunted growth, cannot be more than 15. And they had already submitted themselves through propaganda to fight a war that they don't even know or understand the basis for it. And it is a function of the dysfunctional social equilibrium. You understand? If those kids had been properly raised in an environment that is conducive and with proper parental care, none of them will want to face imminent death. Because how much training can you give a 12-year-old? How strong is this 12-year-old for him to carry a rifle, AK-47, with 30 rounds of ammunition in the going with the gun, in the magazine? How much of training and how much of indoctrination are you going to give? Yeah, in wars we have seen child soldiers. We saw it in Liberia. We saw it, and to toughen them, you know what they usually do? They will bring their sibling or their relative, tie their face, and give them a gun and instruct them to fire. So once they fire, they will remove the hood, and then lying down with pool of blood is probably their mother, their cousin, their this, their that, and that would naturally toughen them, because they will already have that feeling that if this person can fall through my hand, then there's no other person in the world that cannot kill. You understand? But the point is, must we waste our leaders of tomorrow on the altar of wars that they don't even understand, they don't even know anything about? It's sad, and they already prepared for it, because that's where you have the Almajiris. Most of those boys you see may have transformed from an Almajiri to putting on uniform. And how much? Those ones are even more dangerous than the conventional soldiers, because they only listen to instructions. They don't process anything in their brain. Once they say, look, anybody that comes away around this territory is an infidel, fire on sight, they will do it without interrogating it, without finding out, without using their discretion. They will go ahead and do it, and it becomes a source of worry for the military. And if you have not been able to tame conventional warlords, how much can you do to these youngsters? So that's why I resonate with the fear of the CDS, former DCDS, who is now a minister.
When they convene this kind of meetings and urge Nigerians not to despair and urge Nigerians to be sure that something is going on, when they tell Nigerians, don't worry, we are working on it, when they say, oh, we suffered from casualties, but it's not so much, when they tell Nigerians, don't be discouraged by misinformation circulating on social media, these are false narratives that could undermine the morale of security personnel, how can we not be discouraged? Do you know sometimes we cannot even report the number of insecurity incidents that go on in a particular day, because while you're talking about Zamfara, you're getting reports that one is happening in Kebbi. While you're talking about Kebbi, you're getting reports that something is happening in Benue. In one day, you can see like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 reports of insecurity across different states, across different regions, and it is still being underreported because you're not even reporting everything that happened. It takes a toll on the mental health of Nigerians. It takes a toll on we that come to talk about it on air. It takes a toll on people who are reporting the news. It takes a toll on people who are doing the investigations. There are villages you go to in Nigeria, you will meet one single living thing in your village. It's deserted.
You see, let me tell you, the irony of it is that most of us in the media space bear the mental torture than any other person. Do you know that as we speak, there are some areas in this country that they may not have come across any information about Boko Haram They will ask you, what is Boko Haram?
You really think so, sir?
Yes.
That there is no single Nigerian that will, except it's just language constraint, but you think there are no Nigerians in Nigeria that know that insecurity is destroying.
Do they know the difference between a terrorist and a bandit or a kidnapper? They hardly know. You understand? Some people are killing some people. That's what they know. And let me tell you, it has positive and negative sides to it. Negative side to it that when you hear, although I agree with you that some of these deaths, some of these attacks are underreported, but you would also agree that why is it so? Because it is what you feed the media that the media feeds the society back. If there are issues going on in a particular environment and you are not reporting, you are not telling the media man, he's not going to constitute himself to a magician to begin to sniff everybody's bedroom. To that extent, you won't blame. But you see, the problem that I have about all of this is that we have reduced humanity to statistics. We have reduced humanity to data. Now, what gladdens some people now is, over 150 people died yesterday. It's no longer news. If you say somebody, maybe like 10 people died, they'll just brush it aside and say, what is it? But there was a time in this country that if somebody dies in an accident, you see the agony on the faces of those who are not even related to that person once they hear that news. But today, if it is not in their hundreds, nobody cares. And that is the negative side of the mental torture. Because it gets to a point that you'd absorb some of this horrific information at your disposal against what humanity stands for. So how much of blame can you give? There is killing. But the important thing is, how do we stop these killings? And that is, that's a question for our security agencies, our state actors, and even non-state actors that have ties with some of these terrorists or bandits. Because if there is nobody fueling a particular fire, it will smolder, and then you have the ruins like ashes. But if you have somebody fueling it through sponsorship, through empathy, and through some other means, it will not abate. It will continue, and the intensity will even grow, and we will be worse for it. Now, there is no noticeable development, no noticeable peace. Farmers cannot go to their farms. Even for you to travel to your village now, I'm sure you will cast and bind and ask God for special protection. But it wasn't like that at some point in this country. That, in fact, people prefer night travels to daytime travels at some point in this country. But if you are traveling to Ibadan now, if you take off around 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, if you ask for anybody's advice, they'll say, why don't you wait for the trip to commence tomorrow? You understand? So, whichever way you look at it, they shouldn't be throwing back at us. It is a responsibility to find solution to some of these problems.
It's terrible, and we can't stop talking about it.
No, you don't understand what I'm saying.
It gets boring, but
that it shouldn't be they asking us questions. It shouldn't be we that should be asking them questions, because we recruited them, got them paid, gave them welfare for our own protection, but they're not living up to the bill. If they can kidnap in a war, then how many hours will it take for the same kidnapper to come to Ibadan to come and kidnap? And we are not fortifying our environment. We are not fortifying it.
All right, then. Let's look at another issue. These are very important issues, but let's talk about something else. Now, this is one baffling report, right? Officials of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on Tuesday reportedly interrogated the chief judge. The chief judge, that's the class captain of the Federal High Court. That's the chief judge of the Federal High Court. Forgive the class captain remark. You know, like where you have judges of the Federal High Court, but this is the head judge, right?
Judge over judges.
Is the judge over judges, the first among equals. The chief judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Soho, for several hours over a large sum of cash allegedly found in the possession of his wife. A source within the commission disclosed to Sahara reporters that the questioning followed the interception of the judge's wife by EFCC operatives during a trip. Now, according to reports, the development follows an earlier incident in which the judge's wife was intercepted by EFCC operatives while traveling to Benue State. Sources familiar with the matter said she was subsequently returned to Abuja, where officials allegedly discovered $160,000 in cash in her possession at the point of interception. However, the circumstances surrounding the funds and purpose of the trip have not yet been officially clarified. Meanwhile, Justice John Soho is expected to appear before the Code of Conduct Bureau on March 16, that's in 5 days, over allegations relating to asset declaration. A petition accused the chief judge of failing to declare certain assets, including 3 bank accounts with a particular bank in Nigeria and another account with another bank. Under the Nigerian law, public officials are required to declare all assets, liabilities, and bank accounts, including domiciliary accounts. So if you have any accounts outside Nigeria, you're meant to declare it. If the CCB establishes a case, charges could be initiated against the judge. A conviction may attract penalties, including up to 10 years imprisonment and a 10-year ban from holding public office. In a statement issued by Catherine Christopher, Director of Information at the Federal High Court, the court said the chief judge remains committed to cooperating with the Bureau. The statement also noted that Justice Soho would appear alongside his legal representative, who is currently outside the country for medical reasons. Mr. Fanimo, $160,000 in cash in the possession of the wife of the chief judge of the Federal High Court.
I think it's incumbent on the woman to state clearly how she came about $160,000.
Not just how she came about, why she's traveling with it, where she's going, what she wants to use it for, where did the money come from? Like, why do you have it in cash? Why is it not in your account?
There are so many questions. You see, another thing again is that it shouldn't be the husband that should be questioned, except there is a statement emanating from the wife linking the husband to such humongous amount of money.
But you know,
as a matter of fact, you are supposed to travel maximum $10,000 if you are traveling. Anything in excess of $10,000 at the airport will be questioned. You understand? So, for me, if the money found in her possession was not a gift, was not an accumulated amount drawn from probably a bond, a treasury bill, or personal saving, or whatever, then she has to answer. And in the course of answering, if it was linked to the husband will have to explain how he managed to get $160,000 for the wife to travel with. And you see, until recently, when I was growing up, an average judge, the moment you are confined to the bench, you are presumed, and in most cases, that is what happens, you are supposed to live an austere life. You are not supposed to be seen frolicking, showing off wealth or anything. As a matter of fact, those days, judges don't live around the populace. They are one of the reasons why we have GRAs then. You will be in the GRA, and there will be a sentry or gate man at the entrance of that place where you call your abode. Now, you don't just barge into a judge anyhow. You must have prior invitation, and you will be properly grilled. You can be hearing of a judge's name. You may not have come across him till he retires. because they hardly socialize. But these days, you need to meet judges in Owambe. You will be shocked at the way they behave. Judges now they carry complimentary card with them. They do all manners of things. Those days, in fact, a judge is like a masquerade. When it's not time,
you don't see them outside.
You don't see them anyhow. Just like, and the day you see them, in fact, I was growing up, I think I was in secondary school, when this story was told that any day a judge wears red robe is going to give death sentence to an accused person. So anytime I go to the GRA part of my town and I see a judge dressed in his robe in red, sometimes I will raise down to the court to see who is that person that's going to get death sentence. That is too much. But today, look at even the judge that was busted in Edo in his house, although the DSS mistook another person's place for the one they were looking for. You know, $160,000. It's not just chicken feed.
It's a lot of money, and as someone who knows the law of Nigeria, as a custodian of the law, you should know what you're allowed to do and not do. You should. That is the more reason why many Nigerians would think, okay, what's this money for? What's this about? That's the reason why more Nigerians would think that there is corruption or corrupt practice linked to that particular money. So he's supposed to know to tell his wife that, oh, you can't travel with this amount. Maybe put it somewhere else. Like it really baffles the mind. It baffles the mind. It makes one think. A lot of Nigerians believe that judgment is for sale.
The point is, how can you conceal $160,000, even if it is just 100 bill? Yes. How can you conceal it that it will not be found out? If you wrap it with a black cellophane, the mere touch of it will show that this is a word of note. And so they would ask questions. And even if it's for medical treatment, you're supposed to pay ahead of that treatment to the concerned hospital. Not that you carry cash. It is only in Nigeria that you carry cash anyhow to pay for services. Over there, in fact, if you go to a store and you want to buy a car and you carry the money, raw cash, I tell you, there will be a signal to the police. They will come and pick you and ask you how you came about that kind of money in your bag and not in the bank. In most countries, they espouse the credit card scheme, So there was no reason for the woman to carry such huge amount on her body while traveling out of the country.
Would you blame Nigerians for attributing this, for just thinking that there is something ulterior, a kind of ulterior motive attached to that particular money, especially when quite a number of Nigerians believe that judgment is for sale in Nigeria? Then you see people coming up with conspiracy theories and saying, oh, it was probably somebody that was given a favorable judgment that thought to actually appreciate the family or the judge or anyone related to him in that particular way. Would you blame Nigerians for thinking that way based on what the judiciary used to be and what it currently is?
See, the point is, you may want to impute such conspiracy theory, but as at now, the security agency, the Efcc, has not come out to say that it tends towards that narrative that probably that woman was going out to go and deposit that money in a foreign account away from the prying eyes of those who may want to find out what that money was about. But I think without preempting issues, yes, the theory may be valid and it may not be valid, but I don't want to assert here that it is so until investigation is concluded and what, why, who, when that money was deployed. We have to wait for the outcome of the investigation to the money. But $160,000 is not something small. That's about That's about 210 million naira that somebody wants to take out just once. And you are taking out $160,000 from an economy like ours. You know the drain on the foreign exchange at that point. And how many of these 160 that passes through our custom checks in some of these airports, you never can tell how this thing is done. Maybe the woman probably offended somebody who is part of the security arrangement in that place and gave her out.
This is the wife of a chief judge. You know, is he someone who has influence? Can he really be set up?
Can she be settled?
Can he be set up? Can the family be set up? Can it be a setup? Because you're talking about how there may be somebody there that has been offended. It's basically how this could be a setup. But this man,
no, you don't understand what I'm saying. You don't understand what I'm saying. For instance, it could be an insider.
Okay.
Who knew about the money?
They could see this and look the other way, but someone decided to leak.
Exactly. You understand? So you never can tell.
But isn't that person doing Nigerians
a favor?
A favor, though.
A favor.
Because I mean, is this something that should be hidden now that
the whistleblower, have they repealed the law? No. If it was that, then that person is living up to that particular law that says when you see something, you say something.
But let's talk about Nigerian public office holders and declaration of assets. Quite a number of them, it seems, would I say, they shy away from actually declaring what it is that they have, which now actually brings up issues for them later on when, you know, anti-corruption agencies actually find out that, oh, you declared lower than you have. You are hiding something from Nigerians, because then it begins to look like, okay, how did you get this? When did you get this? When you could have actually disclosed to Nigerians that this was what you have. Do people not understand that being a public official comes with transparency?
You know, the funny part of some of these things is that some of these people, do you know how they corner this wealth? They do anticipatory declaration of assets. Chama.
They'll declare what they don't have.
Yes, so that when they now steal, they will now refer to it and say, look, before I came into government, I had over 45 billion assets.
That would mean the anti-corruption agencies don't do their due diligence.
Exactly. If I declare that I have 10 cars, and you know that it's beyond my statutory income, before I'm going into office as an appointee or as an elected official, then you should go and do due diligence on this asset. And say, for instance, if somebody who was riding Keke Napep in Southern Kaduna suddenly find himself in House of Reps and is now declaring like 3 billion assets, can there be anybody with 3 billion assets still riding Keke on the street of Kaduna or elsewhere in Kaduna State? No. Then you interrogate this person, call that person and say, look, you declare 3 billion. And what we know about you is that you have limited education and you started this Kekenape business. You are not known to have done any tangible business. Were you a contractor to government? Were you offering services to government or big corporations or other that you acquired this 3 billion? Is it from the proceeds of this keke that you were able to save 3 billion? Those are the questions, but nobody asks such questions.
But wouldn't that be lying, though? Wouldn't that disqualify a public official if they declare what they do not have?
But the problem is Nigerians don't challenge them.
Is it Nigerians are supposed to challenge them?
Yes.
The anti-corruption agency?
No. You see, to the extent of when you see something that is beyond the ordinary, you can ask questions as a security agent. But what we are saying is, if somebody had declared, do you know that there was a particular governor that declared over 1 trillion as his assets? Now, if somebody wants to be governor of a state and is declaring over 1 trillion as his assets, I think it was this Zamfara governor that declared that. Now, shouldn't it have, attract curiosity from security operatives that this man is talking about in the whole lifetime of a 4-year administration? Zamfara may not even get up to 1 trillion. And somebody is putting in his pocket and is still vying to become governor of that state. You ask yourself, is it within the confines of that state that this man made 1 trillion and above, or where else? What has been his job? Is he involved in oil drilling? Is he involved in marketing? Is he, a lot of questions will come up. But the point is, how many Nigerians do due diligence? Before you say anything now, they'll say, hey, no. It's because it's not from my area. That's why it's witch-hunting me. It's because my people didn't like him the last time he wanted to contest the election. But he will never address that thing that says, come and show evidence of this declared asset.
It's very unfortunate. We've been seeing quite a number of videos of foreigners coming into Nigeria, and then they talk about what they see in Nigeria. They highlight the corruption of uniformed men, some of our security personnel, begging of ordinary Nigerians, all of that. These are the things that give us a bad name. These are the things that give us a bad name. But in the meantime, let's actually talk about the gale of defections. The opposition is getting weaker and weaker, Mr. Dele Fanimo. At this point, the opposition looks like it used to have 4 legs, but now it's like it's standing on 1.5 legs. 1.5 legs. 3 more senators have dumped the PDP for the APC. One of the senators is representing Zamfara Central, another is representing Adamawa Central, another is representing Adamawa North. Yesterday, we saw the defection of one in Rivers State, of course, from the PDP to the APC, and they're all saying the PDP is a sinking ship. Everyone is abandoning it. The ADC are having their own issues. Yesterday, we talked about the internal crisis that led to the stopping of the committee that they were supposed to form in River State. They have to move from the venue to somebody else's house. So all of these opposition now, the worst part is we're not seeing them trying to consolidate themselves. Or do you think something could actually be going on underground that Nigerians are not aware of? Maybe they don't want to bring it out to the fore so that the ruling party too will not be aware of it and try to spoil it, because they've been accused over and over again of being responsible for the katakata in opposition parties.
You see, you recall that last year, as early as October last year, I foretold what is happening now. You see, the only opposition that is having some measure of stability today is ADC. And ADC is not even sure. The question you ask yourself is, why would PDP just less than how many, 2015 to 2000, that is just about 11 years. How could a party that ruled for 16 years suddenly disintegrate to this level of every other person jumping ship?
Do you think this is the future of APC? Do you think this is the future of APC?
Is the future?
The way what is going on with the PDP now, could you say that will be the future of the APC?
It can happen to any party. You know why I said so? This so-called APC today, check inside APC today, you find out that majority of those in APC, let's leave the ones that are just decamped in this dispensation. Between 2015 and 2023, most of the people in APC were in PDP. Atiku that left APC, returned to PDP, and now in SDP and ADC, was a founding member of PDP. Amici was a founding member, was part of PDP, and a lot of them like that. Even in APC, you still find them, all of them, who are either in AMPP or CPC or even PDP. So they cross carpet anyhow. You can't even place, okay, for instance now, if Atiku should decide not to run and is coming to you as a free citizen, do you think everybody will still know that he's still in ADC? Some people still believe he was still in the PDP.
Why would anybody believe in the PDP? It's been in the media for months that he's a part of the ADC.
It is because you are in the media that you know.
Because
do you know that in some places
him with the PDP?
Do you know that in some places they don't even know that Buhari has left government and died? Hey, you need to, Choma, you need to go to rural areas and see things and hear things that will shock you, because they don't have the means to access this information. But because you access it, you sleep with it, you wake up with it, you eat with it, you do a lot of things with information. That's why it comes easy to you, and you assume that it is the same thing for every other person. Do you know that in this country there are some people that have never heard the handset almost 25 years after? I'm sure you won't believe.
It's difficult. It's difficult to believe, because there's some kind of development that goes everywhere.
I told a story once of a distant cousin who was presumed to have died or missing, only for a driver from that community to stumble on him while he was bringing farm produce from a village. And when he saw him, he had transformed to part of that community that nobody ever knew that is Yoruba. This man, when he came back to report to us that we have found so person, they said it's a lie. They said, okay, go back to that community and give him your phone to talk to us. Do you know what they were calling handset? Telewire. And people milled around him, and we could hear noise from all of them being excited. In fact, they said they had to climb a hill to receive network. I'm sure you won't believe that such a place exists. Traveling is part of education. There are certain things you will never believe. I'm sure if I tell you now that in some places in this country that I know of, somebody can wear a particular cloth for 6 months without changing it, and that person is not mad, is not mentally unstable, is not mentally deranged. So information is not available, not all Nigerians. Not all Nigerians.
We're talking about opposition positioning. What is it that they are supposed to be doing that they are not doing?
You see, opposition should eschew greed and inordinate ambition.
Everybody wanting to be president.
Exactly. Now, you see, the fallout of ADC now, if Atiku, although they have prepared enough ground for Atiku to take over as presidential candidate of ADC in the forthcoming election. Now, if eventually Atiku becomes the presidential candidate, and between Amici and P2B, they expect him to pick one of them, and he decides not to pick any one of them, do you know what could happen? They can just go and cherry pick another political party that is smarting from the throes of death, and then they fly with it. The other person might go to another party, fly with it, and so the vote that should have gone to ADC as a block vote will now be dissipated among and shared among these three groups. What do you have? Collectively, if they had come together, they would have won election. But separately, they will so decimate themselves that the incumbent will just go to. I have seen elections where less than 40% won that election of votes. You now imagine the 60 or 60 something about that election. If they had come together, would that incumbent have chance of winning that election? No. So I hope they will not allow this part of our politics here. You know, I hope they will not allow it to also assail us in the next election, whereby Amici will stand with a party, Peter Obi will stand up with another party, Atiku is standing alone in the ADC and some other groups. By the time they share the votes, and then the incumbent has maybe 45%, has he not won that election? But in the other sense, if they had come together and reach a compromise, okay, you are not going to lose totally. For all your efforts, just let's make this thing work. We'll give you 2 ministerial positions. We'll give you 5 board appointments. We'll give you this. We'll do this. Are you sure the incumbent will not be jittery? He will.
While we're talking about the ADC, we're getting reports, sources are saying that before the end of April, Seyi Makinde might join the ADC and also be in the race for VP. Like a lot of people have been saying, Peter Obi or Amechi for vice president, if Atiku is the one position as presidential candidate of the ADC. But now, if Seyi Makinde joins the ADC, he might also be a potential vice presidential candidate. What's your take on that?
You see, one thing I know that is very sure is Atiku will be at liberty because there is no strong structure in ADC that will deter him from picking his vice presidential candidate. And the Atiku that I know, given his antecedents, will not pick anybody that is having such clout like Peter Obi.
Really?
I'm telling you.
Why is that?
Because what he did to Obasanjo, he will not want another person to do to him.
Which is what? Is it about our child?
Obasanjo almost couldn't contest the second part of his tenure because Atiku insisted that he was going to rein him in and snatch the ticket from him. He had to practically beg Atiku for him to have that second shot. So, it's just like, have you noticed that in Lagos State, apart from Amzat that just deputized for what's this man's name? The current Sanwo-Olu. It has always been women as deputy governor of Lagos State. And some states are also using that as a reference. So a president or governor will not want anybody that will violate the first law of power. Never attempt to outshine the master.
All right. It's time for us to open the phone line so that you can be a part of the conversation. 25 minutes before 3 p.m. Thank you so much, Mr. Adele Fanimo, for joining us. All right, Mr. Adele Fanimo is here. If you have any questions for him, he'll respond to you. 0803-692-9933, 0803-692-9933. On WhatsApp, it's 0817-175-6338, 0817-175-6338. Hello, welcome to the conversation. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I'm doing so. My name is Titus, coming from the matter.
Okay.
I've been saying that the discussion with the analyst very good. I want to touch on the child soldiers in the north. Are you hearing me? Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
I want to talk about child soldiers in the north. You should have the northern leaders and said their people. You should have the northern leaders and said their people. And what I get you today is very so. What I get you today is very so. But ironically, he told me that it's not only they are under the same umbrella called Nigeria. It's not just everybody. Look at now in the national state. Before Second Republic, First Republic, national state, Second Republic. National state is purely the national people. They are the national people. The Duma, the Peace, the state, and Gavindians and the Indians. So, when the Sudanese impact of national state, they root to the Daniel. And this is where they are also present when they concentrate the focus of national state. What cause havoc in the come back even in the place. That is they can't be affected in that house. And the people, the individual people of the house were just walking back. or I don't know what how to put it. Just keep quiet. Today, I'm not going to say, and we are then looking at this business. Look at now, they're coming to start place. Coming to start place in Sarah. They are just saying, I will have government. Have government, have government. They're looking at 2027. And Nigeria are dying. Nigeria are finishing. Poverty here, poverty there. No one is telling you, you say you're speaking, you are working. After you come out, you become a child. You are seeing again. You have a government. They are talking about they are talking about. Okay, look at now. What about my where they are killing? Very soon now, the governor of the Constitution because there was a time when creating for things. You want to go to APC so that you will cover.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, please.
You know, we need to hear from other people. Please round up.
Okay. As I'm saying, this country needs political somebody that is saying that we have political will to kill what we don't need America to kill us. America cannot come and say we have that political will. If look at little boss, so tell Nigeria. And Nigeria, they're not outside the.
Thank you for your call. Thank you for holding on, UC. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, Shoma, good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Mr. Dede, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, Shoma, I want to speak on 3 issues, but let me start from John Soro. He needs to explain to Nigerians and that what does he do outside the judiciary that such huge amount of money is found with his wife, and it's not really to explain to what kind of business she does that she will have that kind of huge thousands of dollars with her. Now, before I go to ADC or be an article, now the federal government moving people away from Iran. Let me speak on that regard. Choma, you said something that what are Nigerians looking for in Iran? Choma, to be honest with you, journals. Hello, I've read journals of science and development. Iran is a very developed country when it comes to science and technology. They produce intelligent radar. They produce turbine engine. A company called Magna, I think that company is Magna. They produce turbine engine. And they are known as energy superpower in the world. See, some medical surgeries that are done everywhere in the world, in Iran they are perfected. You can make your findings. It's a good country in science and technology and research. They are women there. They are very brilliant too. When I was a student, I had Iranians who came there as expatriates in academics. They are very, very brilliant. They don't take light like Tehran. They have light even in Iran. So despite what is happening now, a lot of media and so on and so forth, but let me leave that area there. Now, Choma, look, in ADC, believe me, I don't care whether I take a pig ticket or not, but all I'm concerned about is anything outside Peter will be somebody like me and other meaningful Nigerians. I don't think they're interested. I don't think there are serious people in that ADC. Believe me, Alaji Atiku has been jumping from one place to the other. I don't know what that man has to offer Nigeria. He has been in Dubai all the years now, speaking from that place, doing nothing reasonable as regard to the political temperature in the country. Anything outside Peter will be. I don't think there's anybody credible to support in ABC.
All right.
Right now, Obi is the only opposition we have in this country. So let me rest our case. 2 years, huh?
Thank you for your call, UC 0803-692-9933. We're streaming live on YouTube. It's VOP 903 FM, VOP 903 FM on YouTube. Leave a comment, send your message on WhatsApp to 0817-175-6338. Hello.
Hello, Chama. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. How are you doing?
I'm okay. This is ND, the referendum advocate from Sule.
Okay.
Just there another something to get about how to recover from this incident situation. I want to make it clear in this you played, and then we know who is political juggernaut in this case. I always wanted the referendum because that is the actual thing that will happen. If we still want this ad hoc arrangement, the only party or only second level that can challenge this recruitment is to be under ACC. Those who are close to, I wish I will have Pastor Harisa on this program saying that this is close to I think we should go and say this is after taking the 90 years to want to hold election. We will run and win. In 2031, there is nobody in the north that will beat him. The most honorable thing and the reasonable thing for him now is to allow this young man give the ABC. All of them support him. He conclude the gentleman agreement of North-South. But if article comes as there is saying for sure that he will take it, then the incumbent president is going to because Igbos will vote in whether they like it or they don't like it this time around. We want a change because of the honorable and the previous mentality of it. We want a new state of Nigeria. We also must vote article.
Thank you for your call.
What article don't get to do? So please tell all the people that article should support this man. Then please that one. Then we should go.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your call. Hello. You need to turn off.
Hello, good afternoon, Chairman.
Good afternoon to you. How are you doing?
I'm fine. This is Ade calling from Lagos.
Good to have you here, Ade. Go ahead.
Yes. The situation on Nigerian economy and the political arena right now is that the country is not moving forward, and it should be everyone concerned as a citizen. Let me give you a simple terminology. Yes, a country that is giving birth to in 1960, 65 years of age, is as if giving a birth to a child. After 65 years, the child is still crawling. The child supposed to have growing to expand, but he's still crawling. You say asking his father, please come and help me. I can't do this on my own. That's the situation of Nigeria right now. Presently concerning the fuel, it's not really funny at all. On the fuel side, it's too high. So what's the purpose of you remove subsidy and we are still backward in the same fuel high price? I think God will help us.
Thank you. Thank you for your call. 0803-692-9933. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. This is Marshall Obama.
Where are you calling from, sir?
Calling from Dokbamu.
Thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Yeah, I see where people are talking about Obi Atiku. But there is one thing people are forgetting. Atiku called Obi in 2019, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
To be his vice. Do they quarrel? No. And then Atiku again picking again. And they went for this other one that they cheated them. Now, Atiku now went to America to expose the present president, battling for Obi. If they are talking about Obi to do this something, he cannot do it alone. The best thing for Obi, Atiku has told him that he will rule for once and then give him the chance. Atiku is a man of his word. But you see, Nigerians will be playing this game, then time will now leave them, and then, like now, they are now grabbing every one of them that want to join. So will it be? Because APC is now the police. There is nothing they do that APC will allow them, except Obi happens to work with Atiku. Let Atiku be the head, let him be the vice. He still carry out what he wants to carry. That will allow him to be the president next. But for whatever thing that's saying gentleman agreement, there is nowhere it is written in our constitution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your call. 0803-692-9933. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon to you. What's your name and location?
Yeah, so this is Mecca from Oguse.
Welcome, Emeka. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, last person they look at it, I don't know what I see. I said the C they need to enter ADC. So somebody said, somebody telling that it's not like the city. Now listen to me. You will be surprised that Obi will not contest in 2020. because like this now, Obi have no anywhere we can say that this is where we can stand. And Atiku now have already used Obi now trying to get ground in that ADC. And behold, at the end, Obi will not have anywhere to speak. Someone that everybody is looking at. Hello?
I can hear you. Please round up your thoughts. All right, then 0803-692-9933, 12 minutes before 3 p.m. We can take a few more calls and a few more messages before we go. Hello.
Hello, Shama.
Good afternoon to you, sir. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Good afternoon.
Good to have you here. What's your name and location?
Mr. King, calling from my brother.
All right, go ahead.
I agree to your guest.
Good afternoon,
We
sir.
have said it all. The only way for opposition to move forward in Nigeria is that Atiku should not contest. But if he is not time to contest, there's Baba people has carried it there. Because there's anybody who says there's no gentleman agreement is a lie. We have it. They not understand. So we have 4 years to go. So if Atiku said he wants to contest, I think it's a walkover. So that's my own. Then the issue of fuel, we're not finding it funny. I bought a full tank of DMLR, which normally I bought for 78,000 for 151,000. And they said they have removed 100 naira. We do see it in the fuel station. Others is selling 1,232 naira. So the 100 naira is not reflected. I spent 121,000 because I'm traveling tomorrow. So this is the time the federal government should come in to help us. At least they should be able to know how many liters we use in a day now. Then tell them to supply to us at 500-800 or whatever and pay the difference. And when they say there's money now, and they pay the difference. People are suffering. Transport have corrected, has increased everything. The little improvement we get in inflation as these few days have been scattered. So the government will come into pushing the effect of this, the fight in Iran.
All right.
And thank you very much.
Thank you for your call. Thank you for holding on. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you doing, sir? Thank you for calling.
I'm fine. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to respond to the last caller, notes. Those who are saying either I'm an obedient as well.
Your name and location, sir.
My name is Wasim Buraino.
All right, thank you for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. See, like those people who are saying Obi or nothing, that they are giving their photo at Tinubu. And like the last speaker just said, he is complaining about fuel, that they are supposed to, so. I don't know what they want. You can't eat your cake and still have it. No, they are saying instead of them to leave the leaders, leave them alone, let them work together. The voters will be determined for them. I've never seen where such happen. Like now, let them give us good this, let them work their mathematics, whatever they are going to that is going to happen, let it happen. So we follow them. Like Obi Atiku or Obi, though I know Obi is good, quite alright. But in this Nigeria, the best man might not even get the job. So you understand? But even though if Obi become the vice president, he can still do whatever he wants to do. Because Atiku knew Obi is good. We give him, and he's not a criminal. We give him chance to perform his miracle, whatever miracle he wants to perform. But instead of us to rally around between both of them, to support them together, we'll be saying Obi or nothing. Whenever I heard such, in fact, I feel sorry for Nigerians. Like in 2022, when APC are doing their primary, we all know the press candidate among when Ishibojo contested. Everybody know that Ojembo is the best candidate. Ojembo news is this thing. He won the primary. And from there, if the APC was saying, no, Oshibajo or nothing, Tinubu will not be there today. At the end of the day, the man is rolling us now.
But these people that are there, they are the ones that even giving APC chance, giving criminals chance, and they will not be saying they want good government, they want good government, when they are paid for the criminals to do us. Okay, thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much for your call, Mr. Asiu Morino. I do appreciate you. All right, let's take one more call. Just one more call. We'll take your messages and then we'll call it today. Good afternoon to you. What's your name and location, please? Your name and location.
Sister is calling back. I want to talk about
1 minute.
I want to talk about PDP. It seems me that the whole PDP. Look at PDP, 1999. The whole PDP. No PDP. They don't play like it. And the people that the people in the PDP, the other people are showing themselves. Only the PDP cannot get themselves. It seems me, because in 2023, Nigeria waiting to come back. 2022, waiting to come back. Only to communicate to scatter PDP. And they allow themselves to be scattered. It seems me, because that is a great party. A great party can't compare PDP with the arrogance and PDP. Those bad people in PDP that when they are going to big PDP, they are the same people that follow the PDP. They are the same group of people.
Thank you. Thank you for your call. Thank you for your call. Hello, AB.
Hello.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Yeah, afternoon. This is AB speaking.
Thank you for calling. Go ahead.
See, let me tell you something. These defections, it is expected. The current president is a team player. You can't take it away from him. Whenever I say, why is it defecting? Why are people defecting? Why are people? Even the other day, you guys, you said Matawali is sponsoring this because Dauda Lawa said it. And Dauda Lawa now has entered the PC. Even this Matawali by receiving, I told you then that it was because he was an opposition. So guys, so let me come back to the defection issue and the opposition. There won't be any opposition. In fact, all the opposition, they should come together and support this man. Why? Because he was the champion of this democracy, which is inadvertent. Even then, this Peter Obi was with Abacha. You know, I had a story then, a particular man. Abacha told him, a lawyer. Abacha said he should come and work for him. The man said no. The lawyer, at the end, they killed that man's son. That is what you call credibility. But Obi worked for Abacha, and he wanted to be president. He can't work.
Capacity.
I don't feel that he should win. That he doesn't have the number. So all the political parties should come together and support Jagaban.
Thank you for your call, AB. We've run out of time. Let's take a few messages and then we'll call it a day. I really need to go. We don't want to stay as long as we stayed yesterday and 8 into the Funhouse time, cruise time. All right. Thank you very much for being a part of the conversation. We are still streaming live on YouTube. It's VOP 903 FM. I can see all of your comments. Thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. We really do appreciate you. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I should be taking your WhatsApp messages, but I do not know what is going on here. The WhatsApp is trying to load. That should happen in a few seconds, and then I'll take your messages because we're not able to take messages yesterday, and I really regretted that. Good afternoon. Okay. After Chama, if Obi supporters are saying him or nothing, Atiku supporters should also say Atiku or nothing. It's politics. Tinubu faced challenges too. He defeated them during his primaries. Let them feud and slug it out. As for PDP, the wicked infection they failed to treat on time has finally grown into cancer. They have themselves to blame. From Chief Udo. Peter from Ojo, this is the time subsidy is supposed to work for us. Unfortunately, reverse is the case. All right. AB says, Atiku Abubakar arrange ADC finish, made it adorable. Can't give ADC his office, make them use as secretariat. Everything done set. And that time Obiko enter ADC. ADC that was lovely before became the start to the guest scatter. Now they hear Peter Obi won't go ADP or NDC. AB from Ekpe. Chama, the Nigerian VP office doesn't enjoy any constitutional recognized autonomy. Obi for VP to Atiku is a mediocrity that will lead to blame and regret. All right. Good afternoon, VP. My own thought is that let Atiku and Obi work together. IG from Festac. The supporters of Obi are so lazy in thought and action. That's why they keep telling Atiku to step down for Obi. Why can't they form their party and gather support from each of their family members? But they want an already made party where they want to laud it their candidate over everyone like it's the best thing before and after Jesus. How can you say Obi or nothing? These characters are determined to let the APC have a free ride with their Obi or nothing word mentality. What a shame. That's from Tay. All right, Tay, thank you for your message. I'm trying to take as many messages as I can. Good afternoon. afternoon, Shoma and the guests. It seems election is the only thing Nigeria will still be talking about from now to 2027. Security is zero, economy is zero. Nothing to show APC has failed woefully a day from Lagos. All right. Thank you for your messages. I really need to go. I cannot take many more messages right now. Shoma, Nigeria is not working because of bad principle they still uphold. All right, thank you so much, Americana from Agor. You said, rest in peace, Ubaka Obaze. I'm sorry for your loss, and I hope God gives you the fortitude to bear the loss. Thank you for always being a part of VOP. This has been Matters will make a return same time, same station on Friday, because tomorrow will be the new Nigeria debate with myself and Solomon Ofem. Thank you for always listening. Stay tuned to Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Funhouse Time with MC Chooks and Dr. Walkie Talkie comes up immediately. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Voice FM everywhere. And they will want to see like this because now they make us enjoy 90.3 FM. The voice of the people is the voice of the world. For the beat, one neck combo.
Voice of the people, find your brand.
I know I say we talk about the 90.3 at the station. Still we are going to run the city. We are going to run the nation. 90.3 Voice of the people. Both hear this. Well, you don't know. Tune in to 90.3. Left it alone. Left it alone. Left it alone. Don't touch them down. You don't know.
Be the first to know. Be the first to hear. Listen to Voice of the People. 90.3 FM. Don't touch that dial.
This is your number one radio station at VOP 90.3 FM.
It's about that time for this conversation.
We want to know what the public has to say.
Your voice.
Because subsidies removed.
My voice. Our voices must be heard.
Problem as far as I'm concerned, it's not helping the society because the way things are going now, everything has gone up.
For current news and daily updates, trends and run-ups, vital information and more, tune in daily to the best radio station. VOP, Voice of the People, 90.3 FM, Lagos. Now, you have a voice. Speak up.
You are listening to your number one station. The Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Do not touch that.
If you want to be heard, stay here. Voice of the People, 90.3 FM, 90.3 FM. Number one station,
The Voice of the People 90.3 FM.
The latest hits and the greatest memories of Voice of the People, 90.3 FM.
Are you tired? Are you bored? Well, not anymore. Tune in your favorite radio. At Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Now you have a voice.
Sit on for here. Put on for him neck.